What's up, guys? Dark Deli here, and today I want to start a series. Now, I know I'm just showing you my basic Google Chrome window, and what we're doing. Here's what we're doing today, guys. I want to start a series on how to grow and build and work a YouTube channel. Now, this is something and I'm sorry my screen is so static right now. We'll be moving around and doing some stuff here in a minute. Now, I've wanted to wait, till I had like 100,000 plus subscribers, but so many people. I got 70,000 now, but so many people have requested that I do this. Like, I feel like I wanted more notoriety, but so many people have requested it. I want to really start on, this is going to be a long series. We're going to do installments irregularly, but I'll have them in a playlist so you can, get to them. Okay, how to grow a YouTube channel. First of all, yes, I'm blocking out the left side of my screen. It's just because you guys don't need to see my subscriptions, but I'm fine with you guys seeing my featured channels. This is my YouTube page. And, all right, so let's start talking about YouTube. There's so much to talk about YouTube because I get a lot of people who come to me. I help some of them the best I can, and I'm not an expert, but I spend a lot of time studying marketing, branding, image editing, video editing, and these are all things that you need to be able to do in order to run a channel. And that's where we're going to start off. We're going to start off with theory. So this is part one, theory. And that lies in largely marketing, branding, and psychology kind of rooted aspects. The things I had to study to actually make whatever kind of success I did. Now, if you look, first of all, you see I have decent custom channel art. Now, that's a shout out to Avetis DN. He made that channel art for me. He made the background. I made the logo. But he put it together for me, so thanks, Avetis. Now I can do my own art, and as you will see, we'll get to that. But one thing that's great, and this is hard. This is a series I've wanted to do for a long time, but it's kind of hard to figure out where do you start. Well, having a subscriber-made channel art, I think is cool. Even though many subscribers may not realize it, I like it. Right, let's move on. Let's scroll up and down my YouTube page here a little bit. And the first thing we're going to kind of start off with is art. Art is kind of the first thing we're going to start off with because art is very important. When you go to watch a video, I'm keeping my subs over there on the left side blocked out, but let's click my latest video and let's just pause it. Let's pause it right there. There we go. Now you see this is the videos it's suggesting, for me on the right-hand side, of course, as you all know, based on what I watch. I watch a lot of Demolition Ranch, Grand Thumb, things like that, so it's suggesting things like that for me. Now, if you look at the thumbnails, look at the ones that pop out. Some of these aren't too good. Oh, yeah, you can also see the comments. Well, you can just click the video yourself to see the comments. I'm not really too worried about hiding stuff. We're talking about serious stuff. Okay, here's a thumb. I can already tell it's an Opera Drewski thumb, and that's one thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about art. Is today's subject. I should have said that. That's because that's what you click on. When I scroll through these, which one pops out as interesting? Well, first of all, we're talking about theory, psychology, and branding and things like that. Things that pop out are things that, for instance, this thumb right here, I'm mousing over, it's a Demolition Ranch thumb. You know it's a Demo Ranch thumb because you recognize Matt from the picture and the way he does it. He doesn't ever use text overlays. It's just a photo from the video, basically. And that's how he does it. And you recognize it instantly. I mentioned him because he has 8 million subscribers, something like that. Forgive me if I'm off, but everyone, a lot of people, I should say, know who he is. And you can see a lot of mine here. For instance, right there. Sorry, I keep mousing over it. It keeps trying to play. That one, yeah. And then I recognize an Operator Drewski one down here. Oh, I recognize one of mine instantly because I developed my style of white and yellow text, and we'll talk about, I want to do in-depth tutorials on art editing, video editing, and other things. But today we're just kind of starting off slowly on theory. Right there, you can catch mine really quickly because I always have some kind of overlay of the game I'm playing, because I typically do games, and then my text they stand out. And I was saying, I am noticing operator Drewski one down. Yep, right here, Drewski. Again, he uses a very distinct style, just like I do. And I picked it out before I even saw the name of the video. Before I even saw he was the poster, I knew because of his signature. Everyone you want to develop your own signature for thumbnails. Thumbnails are important because that's what people click on. And that's why we're starting with like basic like theory and crap like that. And now right now I'm just literally scrolling. I have no idea what you're going to see here, but there's nothing on my internet to be embarrassed of, because I don't, you're looking at my screen right now. You can see my bars, what time it is, and, some of my favorite, bookmarks up there. I'm really not concerned about that because there's nothing here to, but look at some of these thumbnails. Some may be good, some may be bad. And before we start talking about necessarily how to do them, and we are going to go into that today a little bit, but I think the best thing to start off with, because I get this question so much. Here, let's go back to my YouTube. Let's change the screen a little bit. Let's go back to my page here. I think like the most important thing to start with is psychology. First of all, like when I say psychology, I mean first of all, if you want to create a YouTube channel, why are you doing it? Well, don't do it for money, because it took me about a year to start making money. If you're doing YouTube strictly for money, you may be doing it the wrong way. You do it because you want to do it. At least YouTube gaming, because that's what I do, is YouTube gaming. If you're doing it for money, more power to you. But it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. At least not the way I'm going to teach it, right? Let's start with what I think is most important. Let's actually do something today, and that is making a thumbnail. This right here, the one I'm mousing over, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but my most recent video, Ghost Recon interview with the real armorer. That image is not my best thumbnail. If you look at my most popular, right here, popular uploads, these are some of my best thumbnails. Because these are my most viewed videos, and they are some of my best thumbnails. Now, thumbnail, it's weird to start off advice on YouTube talking about thumbnails, but I think a lot of YouTubers who give advice skip over this, because a lot of YouTubers or prospective YouTubers who ask me often, let's just get to it, guys. Right, so the program I use to do thumbnails, let's just open up right here. There's my most recent thumbnail. I use GIMP. Now you can already tell, excuse me, my nose is a bit stuffy at the moment. I recommend GIMP. Now, if you use GIMP, you can tell I'm using an older version of it. Yes, and I've been criticized for this. I'm using like GIMP 2.3 or something, and I believe at this point it's up to 2.10. Mine's several years out of date, but guess what? It still works the same. The buttons are the same. It's just the new ones have more options. But so don't go by the version I use. But here's the thing: it still works the same, and I can do anything I need to do with it. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's start with. It does seem to be weird. It does seem a little bit weird to me. I'm kind of feeling this series as I go, and obviously nothing here is scripted. Let's start a new image. Let's just start a new image. Thumbnails are very important. I want to touch on marketing, branding, metadata, video content, all kinds of things throughout this series, but you got to start somewhere. So let's start with artwork, because artwork is what's initially going to make them click on it. That plus a winning, shining personality. If you don't have a good personality, for instance, I'm not always in the best of moods, but if I'm recording a video, you bet your butt I'm going to at least fake it or wait till I'm in a better mood. But, artwork is what initially makes people click on your videos. Now, we'll go throughout this series, we'll have various breakoff videos of tutorials on video editing, image editing. We're not really going to touch image editing today, although we are doing it right now. So let's create a new image in GIMP. And I'm just going to show you the basics. And I'm going to run through this pretty quick, but that's okay. I'm not going to make you watch an 8-hour video. I want to break this up. So we just created a new image. Now use whatever size you want. Do stick to the standard aspect ratio. Use whatever resolution that you want. I use 1366 by 768. If you look up at the top, this new image is a 1366 by 768. Notice I didn't really select background color. I don't really care about background because I didn't really care about background because I can do whatever I want with it. Boom, it's gone. You know what I mean? And this is not a GIMP tutorial. We're starting off with creating impressive thumbs. So let's do something interesting. Let's create a thumbnail. Generally, I like to pull them from screenshots. Here's my video editor. Let's go to, I use HitFilm. Some people use Sony Vegas. Some people use Adobe Premiere. Whatever, whatever you want to use whatever you want to use. We'll just open the most recent video I edited, which I don't even know what it is. And we're just going to pull a screenshot from it. Now, sometimes a video may not have a good screenshot in it. In which case, okay, so here's the most recent video I edited, and you can see it. And here, I'm going to mute it so that you don't have to hear the sound. All right. And this was my interview with Hollywood. It's a 2-hour video, quite a long video. There wasn't really a great screenshot, which is why, let's go back to my Chrome here. I used just a picture of an M4. So that goes back to that point I was kind of in the middle of speaking of. Sometimes you can't find a good image. If you can't, Google Images is your friend. Go to Google Images, but try not to grab copyrighted crap. Look for stuff that's like, no one's going to care about the copyright. Don't grab images from other YouTubers. There is a tip here. There's a lot of tips to include. If you can't find a good image, have some stuff on backup, and we'll talk about that later. What I'm talking about is your own source images that you may have laying around on your computer and have folders and folders of them. For now, let's do something very basic. We're starting a new YouTube channel. We want to draw attention, so let's create an attractive thumbnail. Right now, we have a 1366 by 768 screen that's just black. Now, this is not a GIMP tutorial, so I'm going to skip through a lot of this crap, but we'll touch on exactly how to edit images and how to also do it very quickly. We'll do that in a later video in this series. For now, let's go back to HitFilm. And again, use whatever editor you want. Let's just grab a random screenshot and turn it into a thumbnail. Now, okay, right here. It's okay. So, now here's what we're going to do. This is, I didn't really know where to start with this series. So, here's where we're starting. Thumbnails. And I'm going to be skipping through a lot of crap. We're going to export this. Now, I have all my folders. Okay, Ghost Recon, projects. We're just going to save it as, excuse if my keyboard's too loud. Actually, my mic is in front of my keyboard, and it's kind of distracting. Temp 99 .png, sure, whatever. What I did was I took a screen cap from the video, saved it. Good enough. Let's go back to our GIMP image. And this is not a tutorial on how to use GIMP. We'll get to that later. I'm showing like what makes a good thumbnail, how to make it pop out, you know, things like that. I saved that on my D drive, Untitled YouTube. I would have saved under Ghost Recon, Wildlands, projects. The more videos and stuff you do, the more stacks of folders you're going to have, just like I do here. And there we go. And I'm opening this. I meant to open as a layer, but I opened as a new image. Well, that happens. All right, so I opened as a new image. So let's close what we were working on, discard changes. And that's my bad. But hey, this is not a tutorial on GIMP. Whoops. I don't like to run this maximized. I like to have the window like this. Just big enough. There's a little bit of outside area to click on if you need to click off the image. That's what I recommend. It's 1280 by 720 because it's 720p because this was recorded off PlayStation. Again, I'm superstitious. We're talking about the mentality of thumbs and not exactly how to do them just yet. So I went ahead and enlarged it to the size I like. So now we're at the size I like. But this is not an impactful thumbnail. That's what we're talking about, is what makes people click on your content. No one's going to click on this. Not yet. We're not done yet. We're not even close to done yet. But I'm run through this pretty quick. I can do detailed tutorials much later. Now I have a lot of crap to work on. Like right here, we already have a ready to go logo. Boom. So that's one thing I like to do. Now, by all means, develop your own style. I am going to talk through this as I go because I don't want to waste 8 hours of your time showing you how to do everything. So I'm going to do everything really, well, not really fast, but fasty. All right. I deleted the Tom Clancy's part because we don't need that. What we want is we just need something that pops. I'm talking, yeah, again, this is not a GIMP tutorial. This is simply how to make crap pop out. How to make your thumbnails stand out. And this is the way that I do it. And we will do tutorials. I'm doing a whole series of tutorials, like a sub-series of this on like how to actually really do a good solid thumb. I like the title like that. I do it in a lot of my videos. We'll need some interesting caption or something at the bottom. At least that's how I like to do it. But for right now, let's look at this picture. It's not interesting. That damn picture is simply not interesting at all. Let's make it more interesting. Let's, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And I want to, okay, one thing, because we're talking about thumbnails are important because that is what people click on. And people are going to be, because we are human beings, are going to be more inclined to click on pictures of other people. Because we're human beings, we identify with the human face. So having faces is really good. Right now, that's actually a pretty good size. I kind of winged that, but it's actually pretty good. And I'll talk about how to use programs like this quickly with hotkeys and stuff like that later. Right now, this is pretty much exactly what I want as far as placement and size. But there's still a lot of problems. This is not going to pop out. Remember, thumbnails are viewed at a very small size. Oftentimes like that. YouTube is mostly used via mobile devices, and a lot of times these thumbs are going to be small. That picture right there has no impact. Let's fix that. And the first thing we're going to do, and this is going to take me a second here. I may edit some of this out. What we're going to do is we need to cut the guy out. We need to pop him out just a bit. Everyone does this their own way, but everyone also does it. I mean, a lot. I can't say everyone. A lot of YouTubers do this, in some form or fashion, and everyone has their own way. Now, here's one great part about thumbnails. You don't have to be exact. Because they're being viewed as such a small size, you can make small mistakes. Like, I'm cutting the guy out, but I'm really not being exact. I'm being pretty quick with this. But remember, it's going to be viewed small. No one's going to be viewing it at the size I'm looking at it now. You can make a lot of mistakes and no one's ever going to know. So there's a little secret for you. I mean, not that it's just like secret, but, there is that. All right, so we got the guy selected. That's a pretty basic cutout. Let's zoom out because we're not talking about like actually how to use this per se, just kind of sort of. What we're going to do is I want to pop him out and I'll show you again, different video. We're going to float him to a new layer. Now he's on his own layer and I'm going to go ahead and maximize the layer to the whole image size. And what we're going to do is there's something I should have done first because, there's a gap down there at the bottom underneath him. We're not going to worry about that right now. Well, that's a problem we'll fix later. We're stuck with the logo here. Oh, see, now the logo. Yeah, this is why I like to cut my characters out. We don't have to. So we're just talking about impact. We're not talking about, this is not a GIMP tutorial. So you can see kind of what I've done there. It's like now I've made the character pop out a little bit, right? He kind of pops out a little bit. Now we have a more impactful thumb. Like if I were to zoom out, again, this is just random. This is not going to be a thumbnail, but now it has a little more impact. It looks more like a magazine cover. Again, use your own style. And we're talking about this first in the, how to develop your YouTube series simply because the way you present yourself and the way your brand is presented is the way people are going to see it. As simple as that. Now, what we want to do is, since the guy needs to pop out, very simple thing. Right here is the layer of the guy. So we're just going to go ahead and click this. We need to pop him out. Now, a lot of thumbnails look like crap up close, but when you zoom out, they look good. That's not, it's not a bad thing. It just happens. First thing I usually do is brightness contrast. Mess with this a little bit. You want him to stand out. you want to learn how to adjust these. That looks good to me. The next thing, one thing I want to do is I want his color to pop out. I've seen other tutorials from people a lot of people use Photoshop, things like that. I'm using GIMP. Use whatever you want to use, and that's a topic for a different day. Use saturation and lightness. Quick fix. More saturation is better until it starts getting pixelated. I'm not going to play with it. Saturation, obviously, more saturated color. Okay, that looks good to me. So we just kind of tweaked the saturation bar a little bit. Sometimes you really want to crank it. Now, we still have an issue if he doesn't pop out from the background enough. Now, we don't want to make the background disappear. We can make the background disappear as easy as doing that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, fine. Yeah. All right. I didn't have a plan when I started this. I didn't have an exact plan. Fine. We want it to really pop. Let's make it friggin' pop. And I'm not turning, all I'm doing is just toggling the visibility. All right, so let's just turn it off so we can work a little better. Now, because we did that, we do have this issue down here, and that's pretty easy to fix. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to create a new layer. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. We'll just drag it down here to underneath this. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to swap over to black. I'll just grab my pencil tool. What size is my brush? We want a bigger size brush, a little big. That works. That's good enough. And see right now, no one's going to notice. I'm putting this underneath him. There, problem solved. You'll never ever notice that. No one will ever notice that. Let's move that layer right underneath him, and then we're going to merge those two layers together, and then no one will ever know the difference. So, layer, merge down. I'm just talking about visibility, what looks good, this and that. Now we have an issue of that particular layer I just did. Let's actually undo that because I realized I just made a huge mistake. This layer doesn't have an alpha channel. And that one is my problem. Layer, why can I never find this? Transparency. Oh, it does have an alpha channel. Okay, no worries. I can fix it like this. Fixed. Okay. And again, we can go over all that bullcrap later. Okay, problem fixed. Now let's create a background for the guy. And we also want to make Ghost Recon pop out. Let's put a bullcrap caption in front of him. Let's use an interesting color. This is just like psychology crap. Just like how to make something really pop out. And this is my style. Everyone has their own like style of how they want to do stuff. So we're just going to type... hang on. Gosh darn it, I can't spell. But I guess that doesn't matter. We're just doing like a test anyway. We're not talking about exact anything right now. We're just doing basic kind of crap. Okay, right now you can see it's underneath it. No problem. We'll just gank it up. There we go. This is a thumb. This is a thumb. So we're going to grab it, move it where we want, and then resize it. Now, one thing with creating an impactful thumb, you want to kind of avoid the bottom right part. Let's go back at YouTube here. Notice the bottom right of all my thumbnails, there's that timestamp. Unless you could, like right here, it says a real armor, and you can see the last part of armor is covered up with a timestamp on the small thumb. If, you know, it's like magazine covers. If enough of it's exposed, they can read it. Human faces and human figures definitely draw attention, as do easy to read words. So use easy to read. Let's go ahead and let's resize this a little bit. Just make this a little more bold. Easy to read words are good, but you don't want the whole thing covered with words. That's the thing. You don't want to cover like the whole thing with words. And I do recommend using like sans serif fonts. They're quicker and easier to read. You want someone to instantly see it, know what the video is, and then click on it. Now, we still have work to do here. And we're not trying to make the perfect thumb. We're just making a thumb. Now we need a layer underneath this guy, and we also need some more work. Let's do some work on the text real quick. So just real quick on the text, we're going to go, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. It worked. And we're just going to leave it all yellow. I'm not really concerned about, you know, looks like, in particular. We're going to, some drop shadow. That's all good. Good. My settings are, I already got my presets. We get some drop shadow under the thumb. So as of right now, okay, I mean, again, we're talking about like psychology. All right, so we got three, as of right now, we got like three layers. We get the text, in front of that is the guy, in front of that is the title. Now, this is the caption. This is going to make things pop out. I'm not saying the way I do thumbs is the best way, but it's a decent way. Now, let's find, where the heck is the layer with the dude? All right, we're going to want to merge him down to this. So here's the dude. Okay. We want to, let's zoom in here. We want to cut him out. Well, first let's make a background. Let's just turn him off. Just turn all this crap off. It doesn't even matter. Let's just make a background. There's a lot of go-tos as to how you do this. You know, there's ways I do it. Let's just create a new layer. Again, I don't really give a crap what it looks like. Let's just drag on top so we can work with it easier. All right, one quick way to create is just start with something random like this. There. Okay, do I want yellow in the background? No, actually, I think blue might be a better color, so we'll just, oops, that's the wrong thing. We want colors, colorize, and here we can easily just change the hue. I want more of a blue. But I want more blue than that. So we'll just kind of fuck with the hue a little bit. There we go. That's mostly what I want, except for layer, and we're gonna transform this and flip it horizontally. Think about how things are gonna look, and sometimes click shit on and off and be like, let's drag the guy up a little bit over this. Oops. There we go. Yes, that looks good. And then let's, don't worry, we'll kill off some of this crap. We'll actually move this layer down here and paint it black, as in the words of Rolling Stones. Add some black behind it. Don't worry about some of the crap you're seeing. Some of this stuff needs to move up to the top, obviously. Well, this needs to move over the top. And then we need to move, some stuff around here. Obviously, there's something I'm forgetting. We can just delete that layer because we decided not to use it. So let's just get rid of that. I'm trying to decide why the caption is behind. Oh, because the caption's there. Boom. Okay. So now we're kind of like more where we were at. That's not bad. Let's just dice it up a little bit. Let's just spruce it up a little bit with something that I like to do. Assuming I can find the correct filter. And again, it's going to depend on what editor you're using. I always feel these out, and today I am not pulling it off right. You know, I think it's actually under distorts. It is. This is one I use frequently. Let's see. Tailspin. No. We'll just do that. Boom. Okay, that kind of pops. Doesn't quite pop enough. So let's go. Colors. We'll just crank this up a little bit here. Let's turn the brightness a bit. See, I'm just playing with the background. Oops, I lost control of the thing. And that's good. Let's play with the saturation a little bit. Let's resaturate it a little bit. Let's get that blue back really popping in there. All right, that looks good. That was good. Now the Ghost Recon keys a little work, so we'll just go to that layer and we'll do a simple drop shadow effect. Already have my settings preset in there. Boom. Now, one thing I do is I like to create a border. I'm just showing how to make a thumbnail that pops. And, you know, why is, let's see, this is going to be under decor, add border. I should already have my settings slammed in. Not quite. The color's wrong. Everyone has their own. I like to do black borders. Okay. Boom. There we go. So, okay. So right there, I don't know how many minutes that was. By myself, I do it quicker. took a random screenshot, and I'm not saying I made the world's best thumb, but I made a thumbnail, and this is a thumb. If that said something interesting, you want to say something interesting, and that's a topic in another thing, how to title your stuff. I guess today's video was how to create an image that might draw people's eye. This is not the best. Like, for instance, there's a lot of negative space here. There's a lot of negative space. I tried to break that up with kind of the blurring and the tiling, but there still is negative space. But guys, it's really, let's go back to my channel. Let's actually watch this. Close, discard. It's destroyed. We just destroyed it. It was just a stupid, bullcrap image anyway. Looking back at the channel, the first way to start off is people want to know all the, like the dark side of the Force tricks. The fast path to fame. Well, isn't necessarily one. You got to build an audience first. Before you can have an audience, you got to build an audience. To build an audience, people have to click on your videos and watch them. And there's a few things included in there, like, for instance, being interesting, how to engage the audience, how to keep them engaged. But it all starts off with thumbnails, and that's why we started off with that today. And that was just a basic example of how I do thumbnails. Everyone has the way they do them differently. Like when I was scrolling through my YouTube earlier, and I can spot a Drewski thumbnail or a Grand thumbnail or whatever from a mile away because they have their own style, and you all know what I'm talking about. You have the channels you watch and you spot their thumbs because it's like, oh, I know this. You want that kind of recognition. Some people use little logos in the corner or sidebars or whatever, so that when they appear on the right side here, let's just click one of my other videos.
What's up, guys?
So when this crap appears over here, so I can tell right there it's a PewDiePie thumb. Why? Because I recognize PewDiePie from a mile away. He's just recognizable. I just mentioned that. There's just certain things. Some people use sidebars and logos, like right here, Down to Earth Astronomy, right here on this thumbnail. I don't want to mouse over it because then it starts playing the video, but you can see he's got like a sidebar. Some people do that. Whatever you do, find your style. It may take you a lot of videos, but find your style and use it and experiment. Experiment. I've done lots of tests. I used a sidebar and logos at one point, and I kind of been using the right there. I can tell this is one of my thumbs because it says in yellow, Ghost Recon. Yep, that's a Dark Alley video. I don't even remember what video that is. I just recognized my artwork. So whatever style you decide upon, it took me a couple years to kind of decide upon the yellow and the white and what I use. Use whatever colors you want, whatever works for you. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Let's go ahead and just go back to my YouTube. We'll end this here. Seems like a weird way to start a series. Seems like if I want to learn how to do YouTube, why is he talking about artwork? It's the face of your channel, guys. Artwork is a big thing. It's the face of your channel. And there's many facets to this. And that's why I was debating how to do this series. Where do I start off with? Well, I decided theory, psychology, marketing, and branding. And you're like, well, when do you get to the video making and the games? Honestly, guys, that really comes later. That's simply the game you're playing and like what you're actually doing, and even the resolution of your video is not near as important, as the art that gets them to click on it, the engagement that draws them in, and the psychology and the family or whatever you want to do that creates your brand. That's what holds people in. Subscribers don't matter. It's views. We'll talk about that too. We'll talk about numbers, analytics, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribers don't matter. Like, I right now you can see I have 70,000 subscribers. Now, I can have 70,000 subscribers, but if no one's watching my videos, it doesn't matter, guys. What matters is how many people view your videos, how fast they view them, and how long they watch them, and how long they stay on your channel and continue viewing more of your videos. And that's why I'm starting here with theory, because that's what you're aiming for, is to get more views, faster views, and longer duration on your channel. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Dark Alley, and I will catch you next time in part 2. We're going to move on to other parts of theory, and I'll have links to this in the description below so you can skip through things you may already know or things you want to see if you just want to see juicy stuff about analytics or tips on actually how to use programs like Photoshop or various video editors, for instance. But I will tell you this, if you want to start a YouTube channel, there's a lot of things you need. You need the stick with itness, as I call it. You need to be able to stick with it. Avoid the, just ignore bad press, ignore trolls, obviously, because the internet can be cancerous at times. And you need to wear a lot of hats. You need to be able to be an image editor, a video editor, a content creator, a commentator, a story writer. You need to be able to do all those things at once. Just, no matter what your genre is. My genre is gaming, but whatever your genre is, you got to wear a lot of hats to be a YouTuber if you actually want to make money from it. It's a long road, guys. And I figured I'd start you off with a little artwork. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I am Dark Deli, and I will catch you all next time.